this isn't the style I would reach for, but if you like this style, it's fine. It's kind of bland. Yeah, I could definitely use more fruit to it, but I mean, for not having alcohol, it's pretty good. It literally felt like I was trying to eat like smoky firewood, but without the smoke. No, I'm like, that's not my style. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be trying different non-alcoholic beverages. The first one we're trying is Heineken Zero, alcohol-free.
It's super clear and yellow. It smells like Heineken, that kind of like sweet banana like aroma.
Yeah, I would say it tastes pretty similar to regular Heineken. So if that's the type of beer you're into and you want something that's more non-alcoholic, this would probably be a good option. It doesn't have much flavor in terms of being like a craft beer or anything like that, but pretty decent for a non-alcoholic version of Heineken.
Yeah, it's nice and light. It does have kind of like a sweet, bready kind of character that you associate with Heineken. I think that it's nice that it comes in a can, so it doesn't have any like the light struck issues that can happen in the green bottle. And so if you are a fan of Heineken, this is a solid replacement for it. To me, it reminds me of like your parents' non-alcoholic beer.
The next item we're trying is Athletic Brewing Co. Run Wild IPA.
Pretty nice and golden, pretty light.
Yeah, it's a little bit more cloudy than the Heineken.
It's got a nice like piney, juicy aroma.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not very hoppy, but it's more kind of that piney IPA taste to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a more on the West Coast style. And there is a nice like hop character to it. It's not like bland hops or nothing at all. So it does lean more towards like an IPA style. The body is actually pretty decent compared to like say the Heineken we just tried. So there is that nice like kind of lingering bitterness from the hops that are in this IPA.
Yeah, I would say this is not too bad if you want an IPA style non-alcoholic beverage. Not bad. The next one we're trying is Athletic Brewing Co. Upside Down Golden.
So again, it's like this nice light kind of straw color. It is hazier than, it's about the same level of haze as the last one we tried from Athletic, but not as clear as like Heineken Zero.
Yeah. The flavor's a bit more on the subtle side versus their IPA one. So if you want something that's more light and doesn't have as much of that pininess to it, this is much more of that flavor.
Yeah, it's definitely more like, it's supposed to be like more easy drinking, more mild in the flavor. It has like a nice like beer-y aroma, I would say. It's not hops, but it's more like the malty side of it. And it's light bodied, pretty easy to drink.
It has less flavor than the Heineken Zero. So it's very, very mild on the flavor in terms of beer.
I will say though that these two still had pretty good like head retention. If you look at it, like it's not bad for whatever they're putting into is keeping the bubbles in it.
I probably wouldn't get this one again.
Yeah, I think I would get the IPA over this one again.
Yeah, the IPA had pininess. This is kind of, I'm just searching for that flavor that it's trying to be, and it doesn't seem to really have like a flavor profile.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's supposed to be like a golden ale, it's supposed to be very easy to drink and crushable, which it is like easy to drink, but there's no flavor to back it up.
Yeah, it's just kind of bland. Maybe not this one. So the next one we're trying is Untitled Art Non-Alcoholic Mango Dragonfruit Fruited Sour.
So it's got a nice kind of like thick haze, which I'm guessing is coming from like some fruit juice or fruit puree they probably added to it. So it's got almost kind of like a creamsicle orange fruit punch kind of color.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a deep grapefruit color.
And you can really smell like the mango on the aroma.
Yeah, it's got a really nice like fruity flavor to it. It's a little on the lighter side, so it's not as like thick and mouthfeely as an actual like fruited sour is, but it's pretty good for actual like flavor and all of that for being non-alcoholic.
Yeah, it's definitely more unique, and you do get a nice kind of like subtle fruit character. You know, if I was comparing this to like the beer equivalent, which is always maybe a little bit thicker of the puree and a little bit tartar, I think that's kind of what this could be. I think the sourness should be turned up just a slight bit to be more on the kind of like kettled sour side. But overall, I think the fruit character is really what shines, and it's kind of a unique, nice beer.
Yeah, it's definitely more on the unique side. So because a lot of times these companies make either an IPA or an ale or something like that. So to have an actual fruited sour as a non-alcoholic option is really nice. So yeah, I would definitely check this one out as an option for non-alcoholic.
Yeah, and they make a variety of other types. This was just the most exciting one I saw from Untitled Art. So I wanted to try something more unique than the three we just had.
Next one we're trying is Groovies Mocha Nitro Stout, a non-alcoholic craft brew.
All right, so we got our first Nitro non-alcoholic beer. It's got a nice like roastiness on it.
Oh yeah, it's very light bodied.
It does have like a chocolatey kind of characteristic to it. And it's more of like when you just eat grain almost.
It feels not quite smoky, but more like firewood kind of feel to it.
Yeah, definitely more on the burnt, roasty malt. I guess it's because it is a non-alcohol beer. They're probably not adding as much of the other stuff. The roasted barley that's going into the stout is definitely like overpowering the flavor. And it doesn't seem to have like the nitro to like carry it through to give it that real creamy body.
Yeah, it's not as creamy as I would have expected for it being a nitro. I mean, it is interesting of it being a stout and being on the nitro because not a lot of companies are doing that. So it gives you more variety of if you want something that's non-alcoholic, that's not just an IPA.
They do claim that they are the first and only non-alcoholic nitro beer. So that is definitely why we lean towards it as something unique, especially on the spectrum of beers we've tried. We tried like, Golden Ale IPA all the way up to this like stout.
No, it's definitely unique and different. I think it's missing a little bit more of that kind of rounding out with more like chocolatey notes or creamy notes or something like that instead of just that roasted malt.
It does actually have lactose in it. I didn't see that either. To give that like sweetness.
Yeah, it needs more like chocolate in there or something. It's just not balanced well.
I mean, I think it's just kind of like an unbalanced, and it's kind of missing the body. And again, it's just got too much of like one note, which is like that roasted barley is kind of overwhelming anything else.
The next one we're trying is Daypack Sparkling Water Infused with Hops, and it's mango flavored. And it's crafted by Athletic Brewing Co.
So now we're swerving into the lane of completely non-alcoholic, no like alcohol whatsoever, like 0%, whereas the other ones had up to 0.5%. These are just naturally alcohol free. This one is made with hop oils, which will be different than the next one we try. Pretty surprised that it's like crystal clear.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's got a pretty strong like fruity aroma.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be mango flavored.
Yeah, it's more like mango candied flavored.
Yeah, it's like those like mango gummy candies. Like that's kind of the flavor I'm getting.
Or like high chew, like that kind of like chewy candies that are artificial mango.
It's not too strong though. It's kind of more subtle.
It's way more aromatic than the flavor. And I don't really get any of the hops. The mango kind of like overwhelms it.
No, it's very light on the hops. So if you don't like hops, you won't really taste it in there. So it's very much more of a subtle hop water kind of product.
Yeah. And I think in this case, it's definitely veering more into like we're a flavored seltzer like type of beverage than saying we're trying to be like some kind of adjacent beer thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely a different type of product than your non-alcoholic beverages, and it's quite refreshing. The next one we're trying is Hoplark Zero Citra. It's a double dry hop with Citra hops.
All right, so we started with this one. Hoplark does have other flavors of hop water, and they also have things called like hop teas. They come out with a different one monthly, so if you're looking for something more exotic, check them out online. But this, for us, will be the one that we'll try today.
It's got a really nice hop characteristic to it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's got that nice like kind of citrusy, almost piney note, but not astringent, not bitter. The aroma and the flavor kind of match each other. So I think this is like a really good version of hop water. So if you're looking for one to try, this is our top recommendation.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite ones that we've found before.
And then like this one, which is the Citra one, is just like a little bit less intense version of this one. And then Sabro is obviously a different hop. But they do have a third one. I know I saw at the store, but they're sold out of it, which is like Mosaic.
Yeah, so they have different kind of flavor profiles for their different hop variety. But if you want like the most hoppy one that we've had before, it's going to be this Citra one.
Yeah, it's definitely what we think is like closest to like you're trying to imitate some kind of beer product, make it non-alcoholic. I mean, I think it's got better hop character than the IPA we tried earlier in the video.
Yeah, this is definitely one that if you like the flavor of hops, but you don't want something with alcohol in it, this is a great product. These ones are nice because they don't have any calories in it. So those non-alcoholic beer ones, those ones did have calories in it because it has a lot of that fermentation and stuff in there and other ingredients. This is just literally water, hops, and citric acid in it. So it's kind of more adjacent to your flavored bubbly water, but it's more trying to be kind of like a beer. So these ones are really good.
And their tea ones aren't bad either. They're just kind of a different flavor of them. And they have a lot more variety of the hop tea stuff. And those come in like a bigger, like 20-ounce can, I think. So I think my favorite of the non-alcoholic beers, this is the Untitled Art Mango Dragonfruit Sour. I think that one had a nice kind of like unique characteristic of the mango and the dragonfruit, and those kind of shine through in it. and there wasn't a whole lot of like beer character, but it was a nice kind of like alternative.
Yeah, I would say out of all of them, if I was wanting something to replace drinking beer or an alcoholic beverage, mine would be the Hoplark hop water, as that one's just a really good kind of hoppy flavor to it, and it's light and bubbly and quite refreshing actually. So it's kind of, if you're leaning more towards that, wanting something adjacent to beer but doesn't have any alcohol in it, that would be a great option.
The most surprising one to me was the Athletic Brewing Co.'s Run Wild IPA. That one actually had a fairly nice like hop profile to it. It was a little bit piney. I mean, obviously because of non-alcohol beer, the body was a little thin, but the actual hop characteristic was pretty surprising and good.
Yeah, that one was a pretty good one for being more on the actual non-alcoholic beer side of things. And so yeah, for being a non-alcoholic IPA, it actually did a pretty good job of getting that more piney flavor from the hop.
And I definitely think the one that we leave back on the shelf and just not buy again was that Gruvi Nitro Mocha Stout. It just was really unbalanced. It had a kind of weird roasty character to it with nothing else to kind of balance it out. It kind of felt like chewing on burnt grain.
Yeah, for something like that that's more supposed to be kind of that stout nitro, I expect it to be more creamy and have a little bit more mouthfeel to it. And for me, the ratios were really off, and especially the flavor that was really strong forward was kind of that roasted grain and malt, and it wasn't balanced very well, and so it's just kind of a bit off-putting for it.
Yeah, I think in their formulation, if they're going to try again, I think doing like a cold steep of the grain would get rid of some of that astringency to help balance it out. If you find any good non-alcoholic beverages, let us know down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see similar videos to this one, click the video on the screen right now. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.